What's up, guys? Welcome to Rave Off-Road. I've got my wife's 2023 Toyota Sequoia in the shop today, and we're going to be working on the interior mood lighting that go on the door panels and on the dash. This video is going to be the same whether you have a Tundra or a Sequoia, but we're going to be pulling the door panel off, installing the interior accent lighting here, on all four doors, and the footwell lights as well. One important step to take note of before you start installing, the dash illumination toggle dimmer button here has to be set to one of the lower settings, so anywhere from here and lower, or else your door lights are not going to be able to get power from the window control backlight circuit on the back of that window control switch. So if you start to get into this and your dash illumination dimmer toggle is way up here, the door lights won't turn on and it's going to drive you crazy. Before you go through all that headache, just make sure you hit this guy and bring it down to here or lower, and your lights will be nice and bright. So coming back over to the Sequoia, these door lights actually will not turn off at the two highest settings, and the reason for that is because we used a different ground than the ground that is going into the back of these switches. We still used the 12 volt coming out of them, but we grounded either directly to the door or to a different switch nearby. And what that's going to do is just let these door lights stay on no matter what. So if I turn the headlights off, they still turn off. But if I change the dimmer switch, they stay on. So you can wire it how you'd like. Just want to give you a few different options. So just a quick heads up, if you have a trim that did not come with mood lighting originally, like for example, this Sequoia is a limited. So this was not designed to have interior lighting here on the dash. So this piece is actually going to cover up the light. You can install the light under there, but as soon as you put this back on, you're not even going to see it because it's all going to be covered. So what I would recommend doing is either taking your trim piece and cutting it down with a table saw, or we actually sell this version of the trim pre-cut, and so we'll leave a link for that. If you're going to try this at home, set your wall at exactly 2 inches. Tape up the front so it doesn't get cut, and it does not take much, but just line this up against the side. We're gonna run it here and just cut off maybe a 1/4 inch, 3/16 of an inch straight down the back here. So we're going to be taking off the door panels here shortly, and I've prepared a nice soft flat area where I can lay the entire door panel down and work on installing the lights. Another helpful thing is if you can put a padded chair right under the door panel, when we take this off, there's going to be some connections. For example, the speaker and the window controls, and when we pull that off, it's kind of hard to be holding it and disconnecting everything. So by putting it down on the chair, it gives us a little bit of help as we're pulling everything out. So what's holding this door panel on is a bunch of these white clips and 3 screws. So we're going to take those 3 screws out, and then we're just going to pull the panel off. To get to all 3 screws, we're going to need to pull this felt pad out, pull this handle back off, and pull these window controls up. Next step's going to be removing this Phillips head screw here, and this push retainer clip right here. So now we can pull this door panel off. What we're going to do is just find a good spot where we can get a good grip. So be sure to take note which is which on the lock and the handle. On the passenger side here, we've got green on the bottom and white on top. Go ahead and pull those out. So this might look a little bit different if you've got JBL audio. This Sequoia does not have the JBL audio, but we're gonna go ahead and take out this puddle light here. Now your door is free. So we're gonna be using a T20 Torx bit to remove these screws right up here along the top of the door. And don't forget this little guy here in the corner. So what's awesome about these lighting kits is even though this truck was not equipped to have lighting, it's such an easy install. They're designed the same whether you have it or not, and so everything clips right in and fits perfectly. So your interior lighting kit is going to have one of these for each door, and this is a little tray light for the tray on the door panel, and then this is a piggyback harness that's going to send power to the door strip as well. What I like to do is use one of these smaller connectors. It's just going to give us a little more room to access wiring from the window controls, and it's also going to make it a little easier if you ever need to take the door panel off again. So we're actually just going to cut this connector off and strip this wire and add this connector. And I like to use these little heat shrink connectors. It's looking like we're going to need a little more slack here, so let's just take a hobby knife, cut some of this extra wrap off. All right, so now we got a little more room to play with. Let's get these attached with our heat shrink connector. These are awesome because they actually solder and heat shrink the connection all in one go, which is great. So again, even if you don't have mood lighting on your truck yet, these doors are all molded the same. So we've even got wire guides all the way to where these are gonna go. Makes it nice to keep it all clean. So this, we're gonna face the lens towards the tray and just pop it in. We've got all these wire guides. Okay, and then we're gonna work on the truck now so we can get power to these guys. So coming into the door panel, we're gonna need to grab power from the window control harness. And this could be different on different trims, I'm not 100% sure. So it's always a good idea to take a circuit tester and just run the headlights and turn off the headlights and make sure. But we're getting power on this light gray harness right here on this reddish pink wire on the end. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab power from that wire. We're probably gonna pull this back a little bit and just cut it and then add our new harness, but this white and black stripe wire is gonna be the ground. So now we're gonna take the other side of these little jump harnesses and we're gonna take the red one and add it to this pink wire, and the black one is gonna go to the white and black striped wire. So we've taken our little harness here and we've connected it to the inside of this heat shrink connector with the pink wire coming in on both sides and the red wire from the new harness coming in off just one side. And we did the same thing with the white and black wire, where we have the black wire from this new harness coming off of this side and both of the white wires going in on the other sides. And this little piece of solder right here is gonna solder all those connections all together with a little bit of heat gun. Okay, so next we're gonna take our wire cover wrap and just get it back on there, and probably hit it with some electrical tape just to keep it nice and snug. It's already pretty sticky in there, so it should have a nice covering. You want to make sure you do this though, because once you're bumping music, you don't want these wires bouncing around. It can make a rattle. Okay, we're ready to put the door panel back on. We're gonna start with the courtesy light. Then we're gonna put our door lock and door handle back on. We're gonna connect our new door light harness. Then we're gonna pull the window control harness up and through so we can access it in a little bit. If you have a speaker, make sure that is back on. So it's very possible that some of the clips on the door or on this piece up here came off when you were pulling it off. So you're gonna have to pull these out before you can get it back in. So just take a clip removal tool and we're gonna slide this clip back before we put this piece back on. Oh, looks like that one actually got a little chipped. So we're gonna grab a new one. There we go. And there we go. We got the headlights on, we got the lights in the shop off. Oh, and our security light just came on, but you can see that natural white color looks pretty cool in here. Okay, moving over to the dash trim light, we're gonna need to remove this side panel here, and then this register and this dash trim. This piece just pulls off, easier to start from the bottom. Okay, we're going ahead and switch these out. So all you have to do on the back of here is take out this Phillips hex head screw and put it back on the new one. I'm actually going to switch over to an 8mm socket. Okay, so coming into the glove box, there is a convenience light that comes on with the headlights. So what we're gonna do is use the glove box adapter harness to piggyback off of that glove box light and bring power up to our dash light. So it can help a little bit to pull this off. It's just a bunch of clips. It comes off pretty easy. You just want to be really careful with this narrow section over there so it doesn't snap or break. But we're gonna just reach over the top of the glove box right back in here to get that light. We're gonna take our adapter harness and unplug the back of the glove box light, and then we're gonna put this female side onto the existing harness back here, and then this one is gonna go into the black back of the glove box light. And then this one is gonna go to our dash strip. Okay, we got the glove box light back in. It helps if you can grab a clip remover tool and get under to help push it down, and then reach in from the back to place it. Not easy, but definitely easier than getting wiring to the dash from somewhere else. So here we go, that's our dash strip harness. We're gonna put this back together and then get the dash strip mounted. What we're gonna do now is attach this here. Now, these clips are not gonna work here. This dash was designed for a limited, which does not have ambient lighting. And so we're just gonna use some 3M tape. We wanna make sure it's a good bond. So we're gonna hit the strip here with some adhesion promoter. We're not gonna use that up here though, just to protect this material. And we're just gonna use some either lightly soapy water or some glass cleaner. We're just gonna get everything all clean so that there's no oils or anything. Make sure we get a good adhesion here.
Is that leather?
It's leather.
Oh yeah, what is pleather again? It's like fake leather.
Plastic.
But it's meant to look like leather.
Yeah.
But you don't kill cows.
Yep.
You should keep this.
The 1794 does have true leather.
Oh, good, from cows. Good.
Yeah.
Do you get the steaks from that cow too?
I mean,
could you imagine?
Texas, so. Surgery.
Black gloves are like, I swear barbers wear those and barbecuers.
Yeah, gotta go black.
Yeah.
And at Rave Off-Road.
For some reason, I thought that those were like just alcohol wipes. They're legit adhesion removers. I had no idea.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what the difference is, but... Okay, we're just gonna let that dry out. We don't want to add the 3M tape until that's dried out. So we'll just let that hang out for a second. With VHB, you really only get one shot at this stuff. It's very, very strong. So this little guy right here is gonna fit really nicely in that little slot back there. And this little tip is gonna fit nicely back behind this vent. But the important thing is to make sure the lights are actually pointing down, not the wrong direction. Okay, now if you're like me, you're gonna be bumping your music in your truck. What we don't want is for this little guy to be rattling. So we're just gonna find either some more 3M tape or some foam. We just wanna make sure that that piece of the dash strip isn't tapping on the vent while you're banging those bangers. So coming around to all the other doors, we're just gonna follow the exact same process that we did on that first door. The one thing to look out for is the window controls have different colored wires on each door. So it's not gonna be that same pinkish reddish color, but we're gonna throw in the description a wire guide so you know which ones to check. However, I always recommend checking with a circuit tester and just throw on the headlights while you've got this connected and make sure that you're hitting the right wires. It'll save you some time and some headache. Okay, the next set of lights we're going to install are going to be right here left of the gauge cluster. So to access that, we're going to take this piece off and this piece off. For this piece, we're just going to start down here at the bottom and pull it away towards the outside of the truck. Comes off super easy. Same with this one, we're just gonna pull towards the driver's seat. And then from here, you can just put a finger underneath this piece of trim, pop it right off. And because this truck wasn't designed with ambient lighting, we're gonna need to cut off about a 1/2 inch off the bottom. So I'm just gonna take a little handsaw like this one. You can use all different kinds of tools. You just wanna make sure you get a nice clean cut. About a 1/2 inch is probably a good starting point. So this is going to be your footwell light. If your truck already has one, then if you got the OEM color, you can skip this step. If you got a new color, you can just replace it with the new color that we sent. If you don't have these at all, then we're going to show you how to put them in and get power to them. All right, so we pulled down this panel just above the pedals, and there is a little clip that the lighting is just going to clip right into, right here. Okay, and then we're gonna bring our wire up here back behind the dash switches. Okay, we're also gonna take off this vent here and do that by just pulling straight out. Like that. And then the awesome thing about this side is it's gonna be a lot easier than the passenger side, because these two clips from this light are going to go right into these two holes. I'm just going to go ahead and stick the edge of the light underneath the gauge cluster trim, and then stick that right in there, and then it'll clip in. And then our wire is just going to go down this hole back behind the dash switches. All right, so we've got this little dash light clipped in here, and we've installed our footwell light, and we fished the wires back behind the dash switches. The two red wires are gonna twist together, and they're going to attach to a tan wire from one of your dummy switches. I've already pulled tan wire for a dash switch that we added. Then for the ground, the black wires, we're gonna attach those to one of these O-ring terminals, and we're gonna fasten it to this bolt right here. All right, so back on the passenger side, we've got the footwell light clipped in. We ran our wires up behind the glove box, and here they are here. And we are going to tap them into this harness, which comes from the glove box light and splits so that it can power this dash light here. So we're going to just cut these wires, and there's a lot of different ways to do this. And it's okay if your wires are red. Mine are just blue because we were kind of working on this one from scratch. So we've got the footwell lighting, got the tray lights, the door strip, this little guy right here, dash strip, door strips all around. I love this red color. Goes so well with these red seats, but honestly would look good with any interior. I really love those footwell lights too. All right, let's go over to the Sequoia with the white interior. Tried to get my wife to do red, but she's more into the simple things of life. And she went with this white, which is pretty cool. Super sleek. This one's got the black Softex interior. So these are actually really cool if you guys want to check these out. These are our Rave Smart Entertainment System, and you can mirror these two, and you can even mirror up in the front. Keep an eye on what's going on in the back. It's a really cool system. Our family loves it. And if you want to get OCD like me, then you can match the mood light on the bottom of these screens to match the color on the doors.
All right, guys, if you made it this far, thank you for hanging out with us and working on your ambient lighting with us. I hope the install went well for you. If you have any questions about it, feel free to hit us up, and like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.